at the plant breeder Selecta in Stuttgart, Germany. This is where the journey begins. Poinsettias grow naturally in the tropics. For Germany, it would be better if they weren't so sensitive to cold. Therefore, the lab assistant tries to breed this characteristic into it. A special kind of bacterium is of help. It has the rare ability to smuggle the desired gene into the plant. Poinsettias are high-tech products, conceived in a petri dish, grown up in a preserving jar. Sometimes it works well, sometimes it doesn't. The project is still in its embryonic stage. It wasn't easy to implement a special gene. We're still testing the plants. Brush and pollen. Her colleague in the greenhouse next door is also trying to transfer characteristics from one plant to another. Naturally, poinsettias look rather unimpressive. How do you like this one? Very nice. But not early enough. I will crossbreed them again with earlier ones. The breeding of the plant takes place in Stuttgart. The rest of the production abroad. Competition among the breeding methods is fierce. Competition is okay as long as it's fair. Katrin and I are not enemies. Only a few prototypes of this year's poinsettias are then flown from Stuttgart to Africa to multiply. At a plant nursery in Entebbe, Uganda. Shortly before sunrise, Eva Namakosa is one of the workers at the plant nursery. She lives with her 7-month-old daughter and her husband in a hut without electricity and without running water. A good hair wash is nevertheless obligatory. What she would need most in her house? A sideboard, says the young mother. But her first concern is for her daughter. I hope that Nabira grows up in good health, that she'll be strong. And I hope that my husband and I stay healthy too, to see her growing up. Her idea of a better future is a small house of her own, not a rented hut like the one she lives in now. At the same time, a couple of miles away, in a better part of Entebbe, Richard Petri and his wife Rekik on their way to work.
Man, this road is not getting any better.
Every day they drive to the Poinsettia nursery. The roads are bad. For 3 years, the German has been working as general manager for the plant breeder from Stuttgart. The nursery in Uganda is called Wagagai. Working in Africa is not easy. The roads, for example. In the rainy season, the dust roads regularly turn into mud holes, making it almost impossible to transport the flowers. It's no use to get annoyed. That's part of the African way of life. You can't expect European conditions here. It's the same with electricity or communication. You have to take care of it yourself. Richard Petri's company sometimes has to bulldoze the road to the farm at their own costs. Breakfast at another employee's little house. Faruk Amule, his wife Anita and his son Akim. They own a TV, a computer, books. Signs of a modest wealth in comparison to their neighbors.
The biggest difference is that me here, even if I don't go today to work, I assure you that I can afford 2 meals in a day. But many people surrounding me, I can call them my neighbors, sometimes they don't afford 2 meals a day. They just take 1 meal. Because of what? Because of lack of the job. So they are poorly financed.
As if it were part of the family, the treasured bicycle. Without it, Faruk Amule would have to walk for miles to get to his work at the Poinsettia nursery. The greenhouses of Bagagai. The poinsettia farm is the biggest employer in the region. Not long ago, Uganda was ravaged by the dictator Idi Amin. Today, it is politically more stable, but still very poor. If you are allowed in, like Farugamule, you are already a higher income earner compared to most Ugandans. Identification by means of fingerprints. Only Nabira, Eva's baby, is exempt. Every morning, Richard Petri looks at the plantation. Before entering, it's obligatory to disinfect your shoes and hands. The plants are in constant danger due to pests and insects. The climate in Uganda is ideal, warm, humid and sunny all the year round.
Hey Rosalia. Morning.
Morning.
How is it?
It's okay, it's okay. We just received a phone call from Selecta Italy saying their cuttings last week had smaller stem. So I'm trying to look in Wagagai 3 and Wagagai 4.
Rosalia Omulo is in charge of the harvesting. Bad news.
Oh, okay, that's very good.
Yeah, we are going to harvest for them a little bit bigger, cuttings with bigger
Another
stem.
problem, pesticides. You can't do without them, says Richard Petri.
Nice cutting.
No other remark.
Ökologisch zu produzieren würde.
Our clients want a perfect cutting. To produce that ecologically is impossible. Our clients are big garden centers. They want absolutely perfect plants.
Die brauchen den absolut gesunden Steckling.
Christmas feelings, just one of the many varieties of poinsettias which grow here. Richard Petri's worst enemy, the so-called white fly, must be detected at an early stage. White flies can ruin the plants of an entire greenhouse.
Das sind sogenannte insektensichere Gewächshäuser.
We have what's called insect-proof greenhouses. There are nets even in the ventilation. But of course the white fly can come in here with the personnel. They are inherent here, everywhere.
Diese weißen Fliegen gibt's überall.
The farm has its own crash, thanks to the poinsettia boom. About 30 women like Ifana Makosa leave their babies at the nursery while they go to work. For most of them, that's not easy. Back in the village, the women take their babies with them when they work on the fields. Sometimes they put them in the shade nearby. But I bring Nabira here because I think it's better for her. The poinsettias from Stuttgart have multiplied into stock plants, the basis for the cuttings. This year the farm needs 30 million. Each one has to be cut individually. Doing this, Ifana Makosa earns €2 per day.